Greetings, everyone. This is Jeff Wilkerson, Professor of Physics at Luther College, bringing you the next in our series of what to look for in the night sky. We're talking about the week of February 5th, 2024 this time around. It's a low moon week, so we got a chance to see some faint objects, and we're going to go try to see those faint objects here momentarily. But let's start by talking about the moon. The moon on the morning of the 6th, Tuesday morning the 6th, early a.m., an hour before sunrise or so, get out and see a beautiful crescent moon about 15% full. Here's Venus. The crescent moon's down here. They're going to make a spectacular pair. By one day later, in the morning of the 7th, the moon will have waned away. It'll be about half as full again, 7 or 8% full. That's getting to be a hard moon to see, okay? Very thin crescent. It's getting down to be on the edge of what you can see without really digging for it and going to look for it. You may need your binoculars depending on what your sky is like. We're getting into the glow of the sun at that point. But the moon will be all the way over under Venus, so it'll be even a closer pairing on the morning of the 7th. So watch the moon on Tuesday morning and Wednesday morning, an hour or so before sunrise. This is a great thing. This is probably the highlight of the week, to get out and try to check the moon sliding toward Venus in the glow of the coming sunrise. Mars is there too, as we talked about last week. But I think Mars is going to be particularly difficult for you to pull out of the glow of the sunrise. So let's start looking at the evening sky. Now that we know that we don't have much moon to deal with, let's go back and think about the evening sky. Capella is going to be our bright beacon of the evening sky. It's going to be on the meridian, highest point in the sky. The line that connects north to south is the meridian. It's going to be on the meridian about 8 o'clock, depending on where you are in your time zone, your local time. And remember, the stars rise 4 minutes earlier each day, so from the beginning of the week to the end of the week, there's a half an hour difference of when the stars are at their highest point in the sky. So, somewhere around 8 o'clock, you'll see Capella at its highest point. You go outside, it's had time to get good and dark after sunset. You look up to the north and overhead, and you've got the brightest star you see right there is going to be Capella. Capella is part of the constellation of Auriga. We have Menkalinon up this direction, Theta and Iota, all second to third magnitude stars. Good, big, bright stars, relatively easy to see, even with a fair amount of light pollution. And you hop across to Myrfak, and I think that was at one point, and I think that's another second magnitude star, is the brightest star in Perseus. Now, if you go to this Capella to Myrfak, and you do that same distance up here, you come to a much fainter and much harder to see star, down between 4th and 5th magnitude. For a lot of us, if we have not the clearest skies, if we have particulates in the sky, or we have a little water vapor in the sky, we have a little bit of light pollution, this is pushing what we can comfortably see. You can see all the way down to 6th magnitude if you've got really good skies. 5th magnitude is probably more of a limit for most people in most places at most times, and this is pushing it, okay? But if you got a good night, you got a clear night, and these winter nights, our winter is not really cold right now, but if it's cold enough to freeze out the moisture, you got a chance to see these stars a lot better. So go ahead and see if you can see. Now, Gamma, it's the Gamma star of Camelopardalis. It's not a constellation we talk about a whole lot because it's pretty far north for some observers, and it's got relatively faint stars and it's bright asterism, so it's not that easy to pick out. So see if you can find this star by going Capella to Myrfak up here, and then you drop back down. Bing, bing, and you get another sort of diamond shape tipped up this direction. You have the alpha star, the beta star, and a couple fainter stars right there. I've blown this up over here to say, okay, let's go explore Camelopardalis. Gamma, alpha, beta. Alpha's 4.3 magnitude, beta's 4.0. A little bit brighter than the gamma star, maybe a little bit easier to see. But see if you can find that pattern up here above Capella to Perseus, to Myrfak, to see if you can find that pattern. Now, what we're going to do, these sort of two little stars that down here that complete the diamond shape are, I did a poor job of drawing that. That complete the diamond shape, 4.2, 4.6, again, 4th to 5th magnitude stars. So there's a whole group of 4th to 5th magnitude stars. There's more you could find in here. So there's not a lot of stars that are popping out, a lot brighter than the stars around them. But if you can find the alpha star and the beta star, and you've got your telescope, these are going to be our telescopic objects for the week, is to say, take that distance and form a more or less equilateral triangle into the middle here, and you come to NGC 1502. NGC 1502 is a tight little open star cluster. Open star clusters, remember, live in the plane of our galaxy, and these open star clusters, this has 25 or 30 stars in it, relatively bright stars, but not what am I going to say, about 1/10 of a degree across is what I'm going to guess the size of that open star cluster is, or a 1/6 of a degree across. And so it's not real spread out, and it will hold up to magnification a little bit. So if you've got a slightly higher magnification eyepiece in your telescope, check out this glittering group of 25, 30, 35 stars in here that in a relatively tight area. So it's a fine open star cluster. It's not one of the best examples on the sky. Now, if you drop down just south of there, you come to NGC 1501, and NGC 1501 is a planetary nebula. This is a low-mass star that has puffed off its outer layer, its envelope, and so you've got the hydrogen envelope expanding out into space, and there's a central white dwarf star in there. This is a fairly faint object. My recollection is it's about 12th magnitude. So you need a decent telescope, and you want your magnification here too. You want a slightly higher power eyepiece so that you can tell this isn't a star. It's easy to, as you scan around the region, you see, oh, that's a bigger object than the stars that are around there. But this is a star. Also, these stars live in the plane of our galaxy, these stars that are evolved, and have puffed off down there. You can look toward the center of the galaxy there, but we're not looking toward the center of the galaxy here. You can see those as well. But this is so this planetary nebula, this open star cluster screams plane of our galaxy that we see. Now, looking through the thin part of our galaxy, remember we always draw our galaxy that looks like this. If we look up through the thin part of the galaxy, we can see out into space and see other galaxies, and there's an example of that right here. So we go over here, and then we start from NGC 1502. You've done your work. You've found your open star cluster, NGC 1502. Now move back toward the alpha star and go just a little bit past halfway, and you're going to come to NGC 1569, and that is a galaxy. There are better galaxies on out here. They're just harder to find. They're harder to star hop to. So there are some better examples of galaxies as you move on in this direction. But this is a decent example of a slash of light, again about 12th magnitude. So you want a pretty good telescope. You've got a 6-inch telescope or an 8-inch telescope or a 10-inch diameter telescope. It's going to be easier to see this object, to pull this object out. But you got your dark skies this week to give this a try. So see if you can find this galaxy. We've got 3 good faint dark sky objects that we don't often go look at because they're hard to see and they're hard to find, but there's a good challenge for you to go look for them this week. Same for the stars of Camelopardalis. We don't always go look for them because they're not the easiest stars to pull out of all of the other stars, but it's a good week to go do that and to look for these there. So that's what we've got for you this week. It is studying the region of Camelopardalis, learning a few new stars, maybe finding at least 1 or 2 of these deep sky objects to see if we can find this. And don't forget to check out the moon as it wanes away through its very thin crescent face near Venus and in the glow of the sunrise in the morning to start the week. So I hope you have a great week, everybody, and as always, thanks for watching.